Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. It's not how it was meant to be. DIY disaster. All right, good morning. We're back and we're carrying on where we left off. The 1 o'clock pour today. Hopefully it will stay at 1 o'clock and we won't get a delay. And hopefully we've got enough rebar. I think we are ready, but we've still got to just do one last job, which is to shutter the end of the slab. At the moment it's just a rough dig. The slab won't come anywhere near the outside level, but what we want to do tomorrow is, once that slab's gone off, we're going to dig this section out, because we're just going to cast a 100mm slab out here. Found a couple of these boards up in the barn. We're going to just drive in some rebar offcuts either side of it, and then the DPM will come up on the inside. Then we can peel everything away afterwards, and hopefully that'll work. So if we run a string from the outside of that cast, well, I've put those two in already, so it's wherever that is, and then we're, what was it, 370 off the steel. 370 off here. We haven't even started the concrete yet and I am melting. I'm a complainer, but if it wasn't for this roof I might have given up. We've now got that board shuttered there. We've ended up lapping the DPM over it to give it a clean finish, and we can bring that up. The plan of action is to pour in the first. We've got 2 lorry loads coming, so this should be about 10 cube, but it might be a little bit more. So we've got 12 coming in total. The first 6 we're just going to go straight in from the end, and it's just going to splash everywhere. Same lorry's got to go back to pick up the next lot, so I think that will give us a chance then to work it through. It's going to be, I think it's an S3, so 150 slump, sort of slump you use for slabs. The idea being that we'll be able to put most of it at this end in 3 or 4 different places, and then we'll work it across. We imagine we'll get to about here, and then we've got the option to get the second lorry in the lower yard. We can still use the dumper. But we'll hang on, we can't use the dumper because we can't get the dumper out. Or could we? We've got a big hole by the front door still. Actually 2 holes, so we just added another trench. We may or may not get the dumper to come in that end to pour that last bit, but in reality we can get right to this edge safely, so it might be okay, and we'll just work it through those bars. And then the aim is to laser the sides of the pool, get hand tool those with a mag float, and then that will give us our kind of flattish area that will then just run a timber screed bar along. Once we're happy enough with the levels, and we'll check it with the laser, then we can start bull floating it. But I think because of all these bars in here, we'll probably just end up using the shorter timber, and one of us each end, and we'll just work it towards us. Well, that's far from ideal. We've got an hour between each lorry, supposedly. Looks like we've got 10 minutes. They come from 2 different plants. So we're going to try and dump this one in. I mean, it's far from ideal. Oh well, let's go for it. He's got concrete PTSD. Right. Just about going to reach. I don't know why I didn't want to put the extensions on, but anyway. We're going to go just throw these ones in, I think. Then see if we can get rough levels, and then get the next one in and pour it all from this side, because we definitely can't get around the bottom now. We've got time. Oh, it has all gone horribly wrong. It's not how it was meant to be. It is the hottest day of the year and everything came at once. We're having a bit of a mare. We had to dump it. So this end we had too much. It's going off rapid. We're just about getting this edge trailed up at the edges, and we're going to run a lot of timber along it. But this is not textbook. It's like they've put a winter accelerator in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have a really bad day. Today's one of those days. The jumper has half a load in it. It's only been sat for about 15 minutes. And then gone off. Tom's going to try and break it out. That would be a disaster. We specifically asked for a 1 hour gap between lorries. And we got exactly 3 minutes. Tom's gone home, and I'm not sure today could have gone much worse. It looks better than it is in there. It's just lumpy around the outside. I think it's going to be high on the outside, so when we lay the ICF blocks it's going to be a pain. Probably got an hour to work on this, but I had to go and stop and have a drink. Just gonna have splitting headache in the heat. Kind of good up to this. It's just so difficult with all this steel work. I don't know what the secret is. Down the side we're absolutely fine in thickness. We're over 250. It's just a bit bumpy and lumpy. Probably going to be okay. But wait till you see what's gone wrong up here. This is a bad day in the office, I'll tell you that much. Have a look at this dumper. I mean, Tom said there was a bit left in there because I left a load after pouring the other end, thinking, oh, we might need a bit. I'll park it in the shade. And I mean, it was probably an hour, but it's coming out just about with a bucket, as long as I don't have to get a pecker on it. It's like it's actually a dry. Oh, it's got warm. It's like a lean dry mix now. We could probably put it in the cavity if I was quick, but just need to get it out. Cubic meter though, what a waste of money. Right, crisis averted. I'll clean the rest of that out with a hammer in a minute. Oh man, that's 150 quid down the drain, isn't it? Okay, let's have a bit of a regroup now. DIY disaster, and then I'll reassess and see what else I can do. Right, I have reassessed the situation and we're going to chalk that one up as a DIY fail. Oh, it'll look alright in the end, but that was not an enjoyable afternoon. The ICF blocks are just about going to work, I think. I think you can you know, use a bit of expanding foam on joints just to make sure there's no leaking. When you pour the concrete core inside the ICFs and you vibrate it, of course, as it settles, it needs to be a pumpable slump as well, so we might end up with some like leaking out underneath, so we do want to get it fairly well sealed. I think along here is okay. I mean, I've gone with the crock method, which is just to kind of work it in amongst the steels. I'll show you that. None of this matters as long as it's level-ish. We'll have all the insulation put down on there. Don't even think about it, dog. Insulation is going to lie on there as long as there's no hollows. It'll be fine, and then we've got a screed to go on top, and that screed will be the important one. Probably 5 to 10 mil bumps and lumps around these steels. But as you can see, I've just been going in with my foot and doing an absolute cowboy job of just knocking down any high spots. It's not pretty, but I think we're just about there. Again, really lumpy over here, and then here is where the second lorry, the first load that came out, was just too stiff. We put it in anyway, and underneath all the loads that followed, it just started going off. We left it there because these steels sit 40 mil in from the outside core, so that's 40 mil of concrete and then 65 mil of EPS. So we're only looking to have a 120 mil ish clear flat concrete beyond. We haven't really got that there, but I've just chipped a bit loose so I can tidy up once it's all hard. I can sweep that out and we'll just nibble away with the SDS, and then tomorrow we'll clear all this out. And stupidly, we've got a 6 cubic meter load coming at about 1 o'clock tomorrow. So we did our best to plan for that, and I feel like all the preparation was as good as it could have been. The only thing we could have done is add a couple of extra people here, which would have helped. But really, there's 2 things that went wrong there. One is we've been done over by the concrete company because they promised us, and it was specified in the notes and everything, that we wanted an hour between loads. And I called them up this morning and they said that's absolutely fine because it's the same lorry that's going to drop off, go back to the plant, load up and come back. That's easily over an hour, which would have given us plenty of time to kind of shutter, well, not even shutter, to just get it all even poured. That end, we could have even started screeding it out, leveling it. It would have been absolutely fine. We could have then poured here on this side and not interrupted that. So I think that was the main issue. But then, of course, just maybe either the mix, the slump could have been a bit better. I don't know if there's summer additives. I don't know, something that gives a bit more working time, because that was hideous. It was as if they'd added an accelerator. The deed is done, but it is a definite reminder that concrete doesn't wait for anyone, and 2 of us was not the answer. There was just nothing. It's not like we had a bar or anything of shuttering either side that we could screed along. We went round, I don't know if we filmed, but we went round with the laser and we spray painted on to the steels our height, which of course as soon as you poured the concrete in disappeared on this side. We thought about clamping on some timbers each side as like rails, but again, if we'd done them down here, the concrete would have just poured on top. So the only way we could have done it really is a pump. I'm going to leave it there because I need a cold shower. I've got a load of thirsty animals out in the fields. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time. Don't do it yourself.